If you're new to the channel, this was the first season of the Great Loop. I got to get them caught up because we're going to start back. Guys, in this video, we travel from St. Augustine to Jacksonville. We're going to stay on a free dock in Jacksonville and then show you a guy who's traveling in a Hobie Cat. Check it out. This is the second one of the trip. Well, it's been a great stay here on the Salt Run, but today is 23rd, I guess. I think it's the 22nd or 23rd, and we're getting ready to leave. The last few times I have the lighthouse, which has been a really cool feature in the background. People sailing and boaters coming out. I just came to the dock because I had the truck up there and needed to get some stuff aboard, which I've done. I brought my Mercury motor. I'm gonna change the carburetor on that one. It's spitting fuel out, and we'll be looking for a dinghy. Probably by the time you see this video, we'll already have it. So anyways, we're getting ready to get underway here, and I think we'll run over to the marina and clean out my holding tanks, and other than that, we're golden. So after that day, I made it over and around to what they call the salt pond. So this was a pretty short run up here, and as you can see, it's pretty straight in a lot of the areas, and it's a nice run, easy run, and then it opens up a little bit to a real natural area, which is Tomoka State Park, and then you cross over to the St. John's here and then come up to a free dock. Definitely a good place to stop and stay for the night. And did I say free?
I happened to also last time. And they weren't in order. Like, it was like...
Yeah, I called the guy on the radio.
Is this all your family?
Right.
I said,
I'm the oldest of three, and so I'm still her baby, as well as she's terrified of that. So,
I don't see this guy mad very often. You're pretty good.
Pissed me off because we were about to sink our boat.
Right.
And he's worried about protocol.
Shit.
He was scared. He thought you was gonna come out and ring him
With a gun or something?
Yeah, or something. Yeah.
Oh, I'll be right back.
I never thought that.
He's like, no, camera must be code word for gun.
Oh, hold on, I'll be
I'm out
right
of here.
back. Well, I do got that in here, but I wasn't gonna shoot.
Well, we're at this little park. I think it's John King Park in Jacksonville. These are one of these gold finds that tie to a free dock. Gotta love that. little windy, expecting a storm tonight, but we'll see how that goes. Well, fixed the carburetor today, so I'm gonna take her for a spin. Let's see. All right, guys, let me tell you what's happening here. This was a new boat to me. I've had the engine, but I found this dinghy there in Jacksonville. I'd been looking for one ever since leaving Tampa, so I was excited about getting it, though I didn't know that I had a problem with the uh, engine. Now, I'm going to tell you what I figured out, but it took me much longer to figure it out. Also, you'll hear me talking to people on the dock. One of the cool things is when you're on the loop, if you're having a problem, people certainly want to get in there and help you try to figure out what your deal is. So basically what happened, and I figured it out much later, is if you have an engine that will run, and it will run for a very short period of time, as you'll see here, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and then it shuts off, it is starving for fuel. When you turn that handle and it shuts off, it's telling you it's getting too much air and it's starving for fuel. Now, I had replaced a carburetor on it, so I knew it wasn't that. I eventually found out, and this is what you want to look for, change all your gas lines inside the engine. Oftentimes what happens is they get old and they collapse after running it for a few minutes. Therefore, when you give it throttle, it starves for fuel, gets too much air, and it dies. Uh-oh. That's what it's been doing before. At least we're floating back near the boat. Let's see what we're gonna do here. This is about the time you realize it was good that you went up current. Guys, I'm going to tell you one more secret. If you really need to figure it out, stick your tongue out. It helps. So one more hint, and this is real talk. In situations where you're having a fuel issue, oftentimes if you don't throttle, just leave it in gear. This could be an outboard engine, but it also on other engines. Just let it, put it in gear and try not to throttle it. Oftentimes it'll get you back. So as you can see, I did make it back to the dock. So guys, I wanted to tell you something else here. I made a couple time lapses about it, and that is that some of these docks, especially where you have your own like a river, and that tide is moving and does move fast, you have to be very careful that your exhaust has covers over it. I'm here to tell you, if you don't, that water can come in so hard that it can make it all the way up into your engine. That's why they have those covers over them. So many of you have heard me say that I try not to move on the weekends. And here's a prime example of why I don't. This is a time lapse, but look at the amount of boaters that are out there. It's much better to move during the week and get on a dock on the weekend. We'll kind of let you watch this time lapse. It was pretty cool. And notice that tide ripping through there. Guys, if you're enjoying the video, how about hit that like button? It takes me a few hours to make them. And if you're not subscribed, do that. So we had this guy coming in the dock the other day, and we noticed it was almost the same kind of boat as somebody that we met before. And he stayed here now a day or so and continuing on your trip. What's your name?
My name is Will Freund.
Future reference, you got a channel on YouTube?
I do indeed. It is Climate, Kayak, and Conversation.
All right, Climate, Kayak, and Conversation. So Will is doing a trip. How far is it? Or
1,000 miles from Miami, Florida to Norfolk, Virginia.
And we are currently in Jacksonville, so he's gonna put some miles under the kill for sure.
Yep.
Now, Will, when you're looking at this, most people don't realize it, but so you're pretty much doing it on here, and that's what your tent behind you?
Yes, it is. This is what I sleep in every night.
And where do you do that at?
I set it up right across these two planks here so I can get in and out, not have to get wet, anything like that. And I got all my stuff on my sides, food, water, power, pretty self-sufficient. So
how do you pick where you're gonna stay?
Oh, it's a mixture of resources that I use. Everything from Active Captain for boaters, but then also it's kind of like a kayak, so I also can use some kayaking sources. So like here in Florida, there's these Florida Saltwater Circumnavigational Paddling Guide, which I think is done through Florida Greenways area, that they put that book out, and it's really great for paddlers if they want to get around Florida. That's a 1,500 mile trip. I'm not doing that though. But yeah, a mixture of kayaking and boating resources is kind of my go-to.
So it's amazing, you got all the gear that you need on here to make it. So what do you do for food?
It's a pretty simple menu during the day. Everything from usually breakfast is usually oatmeal, lunch is a mixture of bars, nuts, peanut butter, high calorie, high protein, and then dinner is usually rice and beans or rice and chicken and a lot of hot sauce.
Yeah, we were joking yesterday. He has to make the rice and beans interesting, so we were kidding about all the ways that he can make it. Yep. So yeah, you got all kind of gear. So I noticed the other day he also picks up trash and was talking about how he uses the net. He'll just catch it right in between, set back there in the back, and just lift it right out. That's kind of cool. So you do some talks on coastal conservation?
Yeah, absolutely. So my background in of itself is science and education. So this whole trip that I'm doing is not only a 1,000-mile trip, but I'm also filming a documentary about filming this whole trip, but also I'm visiting coastal communities to talk to people about how the coast has changed over time and that our environment has been continued to change and be affected by us as humans. And so I'm trying to do what I can to not necessarily change people's minds, but start a conversation about it. Project in of itself, I could not have done this project without some of the most amazing sponsors and donors. The boat itself was sponsored by an organization out on the Outer Banks of North Carolina called Kitty Hawk Kites and Kitty Hawk Surf Company. They're a company that I've worked for before and worked with, and they're absolutely fabulous. And also, this project is not a nonprofit in of itself, so I have to also work with a nonprofit organization to also get a lot of sponsors, grants, donors, fundraising, anything like that, and that is the Environmental Educators of North Carolina have been instrumental in getting the funds for this project off the ground, and working with all of them, including Patagonia, as well as Great Outdoor Provisioning Company, have been great organizations and companies to work with. Dock and marinas, which is absolutely hilarious to have these big mega yachts coming into marinas and then my tiny little 16-foot boat come in and tie up right next to them. But it's great to meet lots of different people, and I can get in and do laundry and work on my laptop and work on videos, and then on top of the YouTube videos I do Facebook and Instagram, and I write a blog, and then you can also track me every single day through my website climatekayakandconversation.org. That there's a button there that says "Where is Will?" and you can click that, and it's my GPS will track exactly where I am every 10 minutes. There. Sweet. Other than that, if I could get you guys to help me cross off lines, that would be awesome.
You want to do yellow first and then the whites?
Yep, that'll work. Thank you, gentlemen. Good luck fishing. Sweet.
So we meet again.
Absolutely. Have a good one, guys.
Yeah, we will probably see you again. These are some of the cool things that you see when on the Great Loop. Meeting different people and seeing what they're up to. It's a good part of the adventure. All right, we're approaching that time. We're going to wrap it up. If you enjoyed the video, it takes me a while to make them. How about hit that thumbs up button? And my analytics tell me that 50% of you are not subscribed. You may as well hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you soon.